welcome to Date with the Divas. Thank you for clicking on our video. I know you'll enjoy this video and many more to come. So why don't you do me a favor and click on that subscribe button as well as click on that notification bell, and you might as well like this one so you're gonna love it. Anyway, entourage, grab your beverage of choice. You know what we do when this tea is coming. Alicia's bringing it to us hot, or yes, it's Alicia.
Yes.
Hook us up, girl. Hook us up.
All right. So this past Tuesday, February 18th, everybody's, controversial star Cynthia Erivo announced on her Instagram that she has been picked to play the absolute star role of Jesus Christ in the musical Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl this coming August. That's right. From August 1 through 3rd. It's directed or originally directed by Sergio Trujillo production. It's a musical. If those who are unfamiliar, Jesus Christ Superstar is a musical that loosely tells or an interpretation about Jesus's last week alive according to the gospel. The show features live music by Andrew Lloyd Webber and lyrics by Tim Rice. It originally made its way to Broadway in 1971. And throughout the years, many different people have played Jesus. All of them were men. All of them were white. But this announcement, of course, definitely comes with some controversy. 1, she's a woman. 2, she's Black. 3, she's also a part of the LGBTQ plus I community. So she's, part of that community. And some people say that it's blasphemous. Other people say, it's art, it's up for interpretation. They're ready to ruffle some feathers. It's about her singing voice and her acting abilities. Divas, what do you guys think?
Don't forget John Legend, right? Didn't he?
Yes, John Legend. He played it back in 2018 for the NBC production that aired on Easter Sunday back in 2018.
I missed that.
I didn't watch it.
I've never seen the play. I've never watched any of the film versions or whatever. But I just think by the name and the clips that I've seen, it's not really a realistic interpretation. It's not something that hardcore Sunday school goers are going to be going to see. So where I could see there's some controversy, I could see where it's art. It's kind of like Hairspray, where you had the role of the mother of the lead being played by a man. So I think we'd have to see how they're going to do it. Like, is she truly playing a woman? Is she playing, are we supposed to look at her as a woman, or is it just that we're looking at Jesus Christ as Jesus Christ? But also, I don't think it's a realistic thing. I think it's already, by calling Jesus Christ a superstar, it's already a little blasphemous.
Okay, good point there. Good point.
Do they say why they chose her to play the part?
No.
Maybe she's, right now she's the best thing since sliced bread right about now. So
I think a lot of people are, though. That might fit the classic the classic role a little better.
Are, but in terms of being able to do the acting and the singing, it requires a lot of singing. Go ahead, Lavelle. I'm sorry.
No worries. An actor is an actor. An actor should be versatile. Back in the days of Shakespeare, women parts were played by men. So why can't a woman play a man's part? It's acting. We are supposed to be changing a person's image so that you don't see the person, you see what they create, what they
the art.
The art that they push out.
But I'm not sure she's going to be able to sing in a tenor voice and be like I'm not going to close my eyes and picture a man. You know what I mean?
I think that's the point Lavelle is trying to make. Is just
doesn't matter.
Story that's trying to come out, not necessarily.
Yeah, but I think when you move too far away from the original intent, then it takes away from the story. Because you're sitting there distracted. You
But
know,
then why be distracted? You
it would
know,
be like if Diana Ross was played by Ariana Grande. To me, I'd be distracted.
Right.
Okay, so when John
Cinderella.
Travolta,
Yeah, when Cinderella was done, they had a white version, they had a brandy version, they had a mixed cast. So it's acting has changed.
it's in the eye of the beat.
Like what was the Lavelle? What was the play you're talking about? I didn't hear that.
Cinderella, for example.
Well,
How they
Cinderella
had
ain't Jesus, so I mean,
Right.
now you're gonna
Let me
pick
find.
apart.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
you're saying your whole thing was that it takes away, and she's giving you another
But that's a
aspect
different
of-
scenario though, because everyone played the regular sex. It was just races that were different.
Mhm.
If you could provide an example where, maybe even with the John Travolta one with Hairspray, he at least had on heavy makeup
Nope.
and what's that?
He was a man playing a female part because
Aurora,
that
yeah.
seems to be
But
what you're.
But we don't know that that's. But we don't know
Well,
that that's
and
what
let's
they're gonna do.
wait. So
Let me
as far as Hairspray goes, it was a man playing that part on the stage. So that was always
Your whole
playing a
point
female part.
is
So
that it's a man,
it didn't
a
change.
woman playing a
No, that's
man's
different
part.
because
It
we
doesn't
don't
change
have
the
any.
storyline.
We don't have any conception of the characters in Hairspray, but what we were always presented. It's not a fair comparison.
I agree with Lavelle. I think it's all about, real talk. Do we know if Jesus was a man or a woman? I'm just,
we know.
I'm being sarcastic.
I mean, I know,
but
you might not
and
know. But
I'm just feeling like I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like the same thing when The Last Temptation of Christ came out, when they totally took it to the left. Yeah, the characters were the same, but they made him and Mary Magdalene was married, and they had a kid, and it was just total out of.
That didn't happen. He had a fantasy about being with her. Like
but I'm just saying,
have a kid.
The concept of that, in terms of how it was so out of the norm. And at the end of the day, it's an art. It's about someone playing a part. I don't feel it's just like you said, you're too busy focusing on it.
I would be too busy focused on, is she really pulling off looking like a man? Like,
well, maybe she's first of all, if we're gonna do that, then right now how she looks very
muscular. She's very muscular right now.
She's very muscular.
I think she's preparing herself for that role because she's lost a
lot of
weight,
maybe
and it's
we
almost
don't
too
even
skinny.
know. Maybe it's one of those options where she's a woman playing the part, but she's supposed to be, I forget what's the word when you
androgynous or something.
Androgynous. There you go. Maybe her look is supposed to be androgynous, and you're not supposed to be looking at that. The character is just the character, what it is. I feel like people are just making too much a big deal about it for no reason.
Because we're talking about Jesus Christ. I don't think of him as a character. So for me, it hits differently. But to each their own,
this is why we're having the discussion.
Exactly.
Because me personally, I don't think she should play the part either. I don't agree with it. I get everyone's position on it, but I don't think she should be playing the part.
Antrese, I wanted to go back to, you said you don't see him as a character. Are you familiar with the musical, or have you seen it?
I never saw it because I knew what it was about, and I didn't want to go and be offended. I love
so the musical to you is just, it's not for you anyway.
Because it's already dancing on the line.
Exactly, because he's already they're putting him as a character anyway.
Or just they might be playing fast and loose with it in a way that would make me uncomfortable. So, I never went and saw it.
Right. So
now you're taking it 10 steps further. Clearly it's not for me though.
Yes.
It's not for me either.
Have anyone else seen it?
But
I've seen it.
Oh, really? Okay. Can you?
I mean, it's literally about his last days.
Right.
What
are the radical interpretations that are like, okay, this is definitely artistry or something like from that?
From my recollection, I don't, because a lot of it was, and this is a play from the 70s, so it's really a lot of flower power, kind of feel or what have you. I don't, like I said, from my recollection, I don't remember it being like too much over the top. Again, this is from the 70s, so I don't think it was like I think like Lava was talking about with, I mean, and it's one is a movie, one is a play. I get that, but in terms of them going a superly far, like the Passion of the Christ,
Passion, yeah.
but it was just very, it's really musical. It's really musical.
But I mean, do they stay true to the story of the last week of his life, pretty much?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they take like little parts of it. Yes, they do. They do. They do. They do. And the main parts that, if you, for lack of, better talkings, that people can remember, the main pieces, yes, they take that. So
I think it's going to be for who it's for. It's going to be for the like film and
Yeah.
musical heads. It's playing at the Hollywood Bowl. This is not as of right now, this is not a movie production. It's playing at the Hollywood Bowl. They're playing off of Cynthia Erivo being hot right now. So that's going to get people's butts in the seat.
I agree.
It's LA is very, very open.
Trying to be provocative.
Yeah. And I think it's going to do, I'm sure
they want the controversy to make it think.
Yeah. And I mean, in reality, what you said is playing from the first through the third. It's only 3 days. I mean, I guess if it does better, they'll take it maybe to like, different stages and stuff. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal.
I think so. She got all the awards. They're going to try to push it much longer, I think, but we'll see how it goes.
Because they're trying to push her for her EGOT, right?
Yeah,
so,
they sure are. When they say Hollywood has their machine of favorites, you do a lot of
You don't think she deserves it?
I wouldn't say all of that, but like I said, if someone's part of a certain
honestly, I've never seen, I don't think I've even seen any of her movies. I mean, I know she has a good singing voice. I know she's been in some
She was in Harriet.
No, I didn't see Wicked.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't see Harriet. Sorry, I didn't see Harriet, y'all.
I didn't see Harriet either.
I think it's still on cable.
I forgot she was.
It is.
Yeah, right.
And she was in A New Color Purple, right? Or am I making that up?
Oh, I'm not too sure about that.
That's a good question. I didn't see it. I think she might be. Someone look that up. Fact checker. Where are you, fact checker?
We'll find out and let y'all know.
I'll look that up while y'all.
We'll post it in the comments. You guys let us know in the comments if you know as well. We'll figure it out. But as you can tell, we're not hardcore fans of her, but maybe she'll eventually win us over.
Are we fans at all?
Dang.
Keep it real.
Dang, that's hard, Shorty.
Developing fan.
I don't have a problem.
She has talent. She has talent. I do.
I loved her in Wicked. So
okay. Was her voice good enough to where you can see it being portrayed?
Yes. You didn't see that Target commercial?
Yes. But that's just a riff. Anybody can do a riff. I can do a riff.
Like, oh Lord, please.
Yeah, let's get the riff, Alicia.
More than riff.
You have to buy tickets to my show to get my riff, okay? So
okay.
Lord, oh Lord, please.
Oh, I think I had her confused with Audrey Ellis Taylor.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, she was not in The Color Purple.
Has she previously won an Oscar?
No, isn't this her time or was?
No, I thought I read that she was an Oscar winner.
Maybe from Wicked, maybe or not yet. I don't know.
No,
maybe I'm thinking about the Asian lady that was in Wicked. She's an Oscar winner. Maybe I'm thinking about.
She's hosting the Tony Awards.
Huh?
Yeah, she's hosting the Tony Awards. She is the darling.
That's what I'm saying. They're really trying to push her for this EGOT. So I think this will be what the whole.
Yeah, it's gonna go last longer. We all know how it works in Hollywood. Once they get there, like plants are plants, okay? But anyway.
Well, okay. Conspiracy theories over here.
The 1% that felt La La Land should have not won anything.
Right.
But
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
It was an hour and whatever, I don't know, of wasted time, but whatever.
Right.
I loved La La Land.
All right, Entourage, if you guys are theater goers and musical lovers.
She was I'm sorry. She won a Tony for Best Performance in Actress in a Leading Role in the Musical Color Purple. So she was on the.
So she
was
already
on the 2016 Color
she already
Purple
got her Tony
on Broadway. Yeah. Okay.
They don't need to push that.
Right.
Well. I don't know then. Like I said, she's
pushing ticket sales. That's all.
She's sliced bread right now. That's why. So,
she is.
Right.
A bag of chips too.
Yeah.
They
All right,
they
Andra,
should
let
have
us
just
know.
Hollywood Bowl should have just done Wicked on the damn stage. Like, what's the
I
problem?
mean,
They probably came. Yeah, maybe it's some time they gotta wait.
Maybe.
maybe.
Teresa's like, let me know when y'all gonna do it so I can get my tickets.
They got to be working number 2. But Entourage, let us know what you guys think. Will you be, if you're living in LA, would you be purchasing those tickets to watch her do it? Or are you like us, like, I cannot match her doing it or what? Let us know, guys. Speaking of putting on a show, let's go to reality TV because, they always got something entertaining there. So I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Married to Medicine. They've got a couple new additions, a couple of friends of and boyfriends of. So Quad there, who is right there. Yeah, there she is.
Oh, that's a
Quad.
cute, smart outfit. I like
Isn't
that.
that a cute picture of Quad?
That
I
is.
Like that.
So she was married to medicine with this doctor called Dr. Greg. There he is. They divorced a couple years ago, and the divorce was not amicable. There have been rumors of fighting on both ends, both physically and emotionally. And I want to say, like, I think it was just last season or maybe 2 seasons before, Dr. Greg has remarried. And so he has a new woman. Her name is
Letitia.
Letitia, there you go. Thank you.
Letitia.
Letitia, also known as Sweet Tea. Okay. I think she's actually from Texas and stuff. So Sweet Tea. And so this season, Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg's storyline has been for a while, them trying to have a baby. And so this season, every year, every Real Housewives of Married to Medicine, they go on a cast trip or whatever. So this time they had a cast trip or quote unquote couples trip, and even though Quad has not been married to medicine for quite a while, she does have a boyfriend now. So she finally got a storyline other than being his ex. This is Quad's new man.
King.
Yes, he goes by the name of King. I think they've only been dating for like about a year or so. And so this was his first time being on the show. And so during this couple's trip on last week's episode, the week before last or whatever, they had these little couples game going on, and Quad was very noticeably drunk, right? And she was ramping on about, how Dr. Greg and his new wife are, trying to have a baby, and she's gonna plan, quote unquote, the baby shower and pay for it, and just ranting on and on, right? And you could tell that everyone was uncomfortable. Everybody in that circle was uncomfortable. They were like, okay, well, she was shut up, in their minds, they said that. But Sweet Tea, she speaks her mind just about as much as Quad does. She says something a little bit, then they kind of go out a little bit. Dr. G tells his wife to calm down, babe, calm down. Quad is still going off. Quad's boyfriend is just sitting quiet, like on mute. Everybody on mute. He was on mute during this whole time. At some point, I guess Dr. G may have told Quad to shut up or shut the F up, right? So the night is over with. And then on this past week's episode, the aftermath, they're on the beach at this vacation area. The two, the ex-husband and the current boyfriend, they kind of got a little squabble here. I will say, I don't know if you guys caught it, but like before it got heated, Dr. G went up to Quad's boyfriend and said, hey, I have no problem with you. It's just that, it was uncomfortable last night. I don't want to have nothing, no beefs and all this sort of stuff. Basically let me know, I respect you, whatever. I just, I'm trying to mind my business, but Quad be putting me in it or, is talking to me. And he was fine with it for a good 2 minutes or so. So some time goes on and this other couple starts to fight, right? And they breaking them up, right? This is when King is like, this is a perfect time for me to flex and defend my woman. All of a sudden, a couple of hours later, and let Dr. G know not to be talking about Quad. So he literally goes up to Dr. G. He says, I'm gonna let last night slide or something like that. And he's like, okay. And so King is like, you don't need to speak to her no more. And Dr. G says, I don't want to speak to her no more. And King is like, right, so don't let it happen. And then we ain't gotta have no problems. Right? So Greg told King to tell his girlfriend to stop saying things that she says, to which he says, this is King. She can say whatever she wants to say, but you don't be talking to her. If you got
A
something
very
to say,
unbiased retelling of the story by
this is literally, I'm reading the quotes here, y'all. It's a quote unquote, okay? And then so Dr. G says,
Ultimately.
right. So Dr. G says, how do you want me not to talk to her? And then she can say shit to me. Does that make any sense to you? And so he says, if she says something to you, you need to address me. You don't speak to her. And so, Dr. G's like, listen, I'm a doctor. I ain't got time to be fighting with people or spending time with veiled threats. So, they kind of, in true Bravo fashion, they kind of cut it off when, Kevin starts to get hyped up, talking about, say what now? He starts to take his shirt off. You see how big King is compared to Dr. G, Dr.
That's
G
the
was
only reason why he did what he did. But
right. So ladies, you don't have to watch this show to know sort of, okay, so if you have an ex-husband or a friend who has an ex-husband and she has a new boyfriend, not a new husband, but a boyfriend, does he have a right to be like, if you got a problem with my woman, you come to me, even though the woman is very antagonistic? What are your thoughts, Divas? Round up.
I mean, he should, and I don't watch the show. I think he should stand up for her, but it's weird that he didn't do it that night, that he came later on. Like, it's weird that he didn't try to diffuse the situation that night and just be like, hey, this is, because like Dr. G saying shut the fuck up to her, it's like, why are you doing that? So like,
Can I say
maybe
something
just
in
say
King's
something.
defense,
Go ahead.
Anita?
Yeah. Was he asleep?
No. What our objective host
failed to mention
was that Dr. G was getting so aggravated about things. Quad said she was having sex 15 times a week with this man, her new man. She was saying, I'm ready to have his baby. She refused to have a baby with her ex-husband. So she was needling him. She was saying things to get him riled up, but still answering the questions. And Dr. G started getting aggravated and he started yelling at his wife. And it was unclear when he was talking about Quad or when he was talking to his wife. So I believe King said, you got a big effing mouth. He was talking to Quad, but I think King, the boyfriend, thought he was talking to his wife because he was being disrespectful to his wife because his wife was getting into it with Quad.
But my thing is,
the next day, Dr. G said, no, I said that to Quad. He said, oh, you said that to Quad.
Okay.
I didn't know you were talking to Quad when you
that
said
makes sense.
You need to apologize to her.
Okay, that
but
makes
in Dr.
sense.
G's defense,
Our host left that part out because clearly he's a little biased.
Hi. But in Dr. G's defense, though, you see how Dr. G was telling his wife to calm down and not be involved in the argument? King could have done the same thing to Quad, saying, hey, babe, let's step away for a moment, get quiet. So he didn't.
That's what I was wondering.
I think they all should have stepped away. Like,
but this is a television show, right? So I mean, this is the whole point of it.
Right. I mean, because they shouldn't have been there together anyway. So,
but I was wondering when you was talking about all that, how come King wasn't like, babe, like,
thank you.
At that time.
No, and I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say like he could have.
I think a couple should be ride or die publicly.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna tell my man he's wrong, I'm gonna tell him that in private. I'm not gonna tell him that when he's engaged in conflict. That's not the time for me to check him.
No, I get that. But when they're arguing, because I didn't see the scene, but this is the way it's portrayed in your intro.
Right.
So from my understanding is as she's going along with this back and forth conversation, you can see the agitation between the two, right? Meaning her ex-man, her ex-husband, and herself, Quad and Dr. G, right? So in this discussion right here, you see the agitation, right? So there's not, would you not like maybe tap your mate a little bit just to be like, kind of, okay? Or you just gonna let it fly? Like go, because they're ready for a fight. Like
I mean, what he said that night was clearly she still has some trauma from that marriage that is unresolved.
Who
It's
said
to
that?
me like that
King?
night King was taking it in. He was just like absorbed. Because he didn't say anything to either to Quad or Dr. G. He was just listening.
Right, but
He's
for
new to the group. That's probably why, most likely.
true,
But
true. But when during this, you said that during this discussion, Dr. G ended up saying, "Shut the f up," right?
No, he told Quad she had a big effing mouth.
Okay.
yeah, something with that. Well, this quote is wrong then, because
But he told King the next day, I told her to shut the F up.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's what he told King. And then King's like, oh, you said that to Quad? Because Dr. G was also yelling at his own wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he just
So-
felt like you owe her an apology. That's too far. That's disrespectful. And Dr. G said, no, I don't. I think there was
Right. So does a man not have a right to defend himself verbally? So a woman is attacking him verbally? That's the real question.
Was she attacking him though, or I mean, was she?
But just
Honestly,
like
do
Audrey
you
said,
do
he
you
was having
honestly
his wife's
think
back
that
though, because didn't you say like let's have our partner's back? So if his wife was arguing with her, or they were just drunkenly rampage, and he was having her back telling Quad to shut up, can he not have her back?
no,
Step in?
it's I think it's a little different. Like if a man stepping in, if two women are arguing, if this is what you're saying, if two women are arguing, one of them, a man stepping in saying, "Hey, you shut the fuck up," I think that's different. I think that's a little too far. If that's not the
I mean, that's
energy
about
that
having the partner's
one,
back.
if that's not the energy that
you
she's
either
talking.
have everybody's back or you don't.
No,
We're either riding with you or
you
not.
can have her back without cutting her
Alicia,
out.
do you think it's okay for a man to tell you to shut the F up in your new man's presence?
Or at all.
I want my new man to step in too, though. That's the thing. But if he's being silent, I'm going to have to keep going.
You don't think Dr. G took it too far?
Not saying to shut up, no. Because she was
Okay,
going on and
so
on.
is it not
And
yet-
everyone wanted her to shut up, but he just had the balls to say it.
But that's what I mean. Like and you yourself, Auntie, said that she was being antagonistic,
She
right?
was. She was antagonizing him. She was.
And I'm not trying to give a pass, whatever. But at the same time, I guess I am in my next statement is that if you're being that antagonistic and he's just like, okay, just shut up,
Why didn't he just get up and walk away though? Be like, you know what? Grab
Thank
and be like,
you.
you know what, baby, we don't need
Thank
this.
you.
We don't need to
hindsight
be in
is
this
always
situation.
20/20, y'all. In
Mhm.
the
Right.
moment,
In the
that's
moment,
what
no
he
one's going
chose
to
do.
walk off and just leave quietly and be mature in the moment every time. No one's going to do that every time.
I mean, I know they're not, and that's why they're on the show. But okay, let me ask you this. Because I don't watch Married to Medicine, but I'm loosely familiar with Quad was on the show. She and Dr. G were married. They got a divorce, and then Dr. G came back or stayed on the show with his new
Quad
woman.
stayed on the show because she was one of the stars of the show.
Okay, and then Dr. G came back.
So she was no longer married to medicine.
Yeah,
that was an issue for a couple years, but she was the star of the show, so they kept her. And then Dr. G was getting remarried, and the women wanted Quad off the show. So they were trying to push her
They had to
off.
find her a man.
Bring in her ex with his new wife.
I think it was weird for Dr. G to go back to the show. I mean, I think that's just a weird dynamic. Like the main, even though he is the medicine, the main thing of Married to Medicine is the women. So like for you to bring your new wife, even though I'm sure that the new wife knew what she was getting into, and I'm sure she wanted the attention of being on the show, but you have to know that that's going to put you in some weird situations, even if Quad wasn't on the show anymore. It's like, because these are people that have had a relationship with her.
He's taken the place kind of like, what is it? Atlanta, right? When Nene's husband was just like all into everything, right?
Oh.
And where it really should have been the women, right?
Well,
so
no, that was Cynthia.
We're talking about Peter.
That was Cynthia.
Peter. There we go. Peter.
But
so
still,
it's the same kind of thing. I mean, I still kind of feel Todd did the same thing too, but
it's a little bit more though, because Peter and Cynthia got divorced. Peter did still pop up because he was doing stuff with the guys or whatever, but Peter didn't get remarried and then bring his wife on the show. Like that's just
that brings ratings. Why that's a good recipe as a producer? I'm like, yes.
True. But what kind of recipe is it for your
the women is married to the medicine, so who cares?
But what kind of recipe is that for your marriage? Is that you like I feel like they should be more concerned with that, but maybe they're just more concerned with that career and that show. And we already had
those reality shows kind of do whatever it wants. I remember Bethany Frankel was in Real Housewives of New York, and she wasn't even married. You know, so
well, that's
they
a
just-
lot of Real Housewives aren't
Right.
married. I mean,
Yeah, but she
Yeah.
didn't even have any children or anything like that.
Oh,
So
dang.
you know what?
Yeah,
I
why
mean,
is
Kendra,
That was Kenya. That was
Kenya, yeah.
So
that's a
they
lot of
just
them.
they just suit the agenda, whatever.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's more about being
Those
on the
women.
show.
No,
Like,
absolutely.
I think it should be more about, you know, for your marriage.
But getting back to Alicia's original question, do you guys think King was out of line to step up to the ex-husband and say, don't
No.
talk to her. If you're upset, say something to me if you don't like the way she's speaking to you?
No, but then I would have had, like you said, Trees, I would have had a backdoor conversation with her, like, you know, a little private conversation with her, like, hey, one, are you good? Like, why are
Yeah.
you this
And maybe he
into your
could have.
ex-husband? But also, like, hey, don't worry about them. This is what we got right here. Don't talk to him, and he ain't gonna talk to you.
And go to him, meaning Dr. G, and be like, you know what? She and I had a conversation. She's not gonna, you know,
No. He told the husband, Dr. G said, have her not speak to me then.
Mhm.
King said
He
she can say
did.
whatever. King said she can say
Which-
whatever the F she wants to you.
I know, and
Right.
which I don't believe is right, because the whole point is you're trying to have them split away, which I agree with Dr. G said, because he's like, what? If she gonna say anything she want about me and it's all good, there comes a point, especially for women too, you know, yes, you don't want no man to hit you and everything, but you keep coming all in his face all like this. Come on now. I'm not, you know, it's like everybody has their point. I mean, for real,
How about
not
being
such a man
respectful?
running up on the
Right.
How
like-
about being respectful?
Mm-hmm.
Trees. What did you think?
I think I was on King's side. I loved every second of it.
Even though King said that Quark can say whatever she wanted to say,
So
you
when
still
your
she
man
can say
is
what
shot
she wants
dead,
to do.
I guess it's
You're
okay.
a man. Like, you can't handle your ex-wife going off on you you're on her show. You came back to her circle of friends. What did you expect would happen? You guys did not end.
the circle of friends that she
positive
didn't
note.
like that. Okay.
I would just expect my man to do the same thing. If a man cussed me out in his presence, I would expect my man to step up to that man and say, no, not again.
But you're making it, I agree with what you're saying, but there's more to this story.
Right. She needs to
than
also be
just
held
that.
accountable. But that's the only
This is
problem.
what
though.
we have
Like,
this issue.
Yes, but
You
she
pick out
needs to
little
be held
pieces.
accountable, but her man
right.
needs to have her back.
Other on
Your man needs to stand up to you for you.
Right. Marilyn, what you got?
Is that energy you have for my lady? Have that energy for me, a man. Keep it. You know what I mean? Why you got all that for her, but when I come in your face, it's
Because
a
it can always
different
escalate
tone.
to something more physically dangerous.
Okay, well, I just feel like Dr. G got a lot of mouth for the women, but
And
you know,
that's why he came back on the show, I
a
guess.
man stepped up to him, and you know, the energy was different.
He did say, hey, I don't want to talk to her. So he was obliging at first, but then King was trying to puff out his chest a little bit more
Yes,
for
exactly.
no reason. So like Dr. Greg already agreed to it, but then he was like, well, I feel like King provoked it a little bit further because he wanted to take his shirt off and show his respect compared to Dr. G.
You already comfortable on the beach.
Focus
He's
on
like,
that
oh, let me
shirt,
take off my
Toya.
shirt too, because my shirt is really gonna, you know, get in the way.
He didn't want to mess up his shirt.
Right.
Joe, he took
Wanna
the
get
shirt
sand on
and
his
the
shirt.
sunglasses off. He took it all off, and he was running across that beach like a bull.
Do you have a picture of him running?
I saw the video though. I did see it. I thought it was stupid. It was very childish to me. It was very childish.
Like it put lava to sleep. She ain't into it.
For real.
All
I
right,
do
Marilyn, no
feel
thoughts?
that Married to Medicine has lost the plot, and this is not why we watch. It's not Love and Hip Hop. This is not
Yeah.
Married
Wow.
to Medicine. Y'all supposed
Were
to
their ratings going down or something? This is what they needed.
I don't know, because they brought in all these strays, and you know, people have nothing to do with medicine.
It's been a while, right? It's like,
Mhm.
you know, it's been on TV for a while, so it probably could be like, oh, we need to freshen it up, and they just lost their way.
Maybe.
I say I don't really watch the show, but first question, is King a doctor?
No.
Or
No.
okay,
Nope.
so he ain't even a doctor either. Okay, well, I mean, I think like Antrese, I agree that I appreciate King stepping up
Not an
for
aspiring doctor.
No, not even.
stepping up for his woman once he found out he was saying, he was telling him, I was telling your girl to shut the, F up or whatever. Yeah, don't disrespect her. And if during the time, if he would have known, I think that would have been a blowout. Like if he thought he was talking to her, I think he thought he was talking to his wife. And so that's probably why he didn't react during that time. And Antrese, I also agree. I think he was just kind of first time around these people trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And then he was trying to, I think it admirable trying to be a man to step to him as a man. Now he did start antagonizing him, but step to him as a man, like, you know what? Like, I'll check my girl. You don't need to check her. Like if you got a problem with her, let me know and I will check her, kind of thing. And that's, I respect that.
I just don't agree with not holding the woman accountable. Like she can just do whatever she wants to do, but my man, just because I know my man has,
you can hold somebody accountable without
whatever it is.
Was she cussing at him?
No.
Okay. So he can hold her accountable without being like, shut the fuck up, or you got a huge fucking mouth or whatever. He could be like,
she was just going low.
Words,
she was antagonizing him.
She was being antagonizing the whole time. So he just got
right. And
here's the thing: if he was over her, it wouldn't have mattered. Because here's the thing:
that part.
Here's the thing: if I'm sitting there saying I'm getting, no offense, I'm gonna let yes, I'm getting it in. Yes, that means just because
times a week.
Yeah, it's good, and I want to have a baby with this man because I'm with him. That's her new relationship. That's her prerogative. Now, if her ex-husband's getting mad, he has issues just because he knows he wasn't giving it to her 15 times a week, and the fact that maybe she wouldn't have a baby with him. So then he's probably thinking, what the hell was wrong with me? And why all of a sudden this young dude, she's willing to do this, but she wasn't doing that with me. That's why I say he has some issues or unresolved feelings or situationships with his ex, and that's why he was getting angry.
That's my question in terms of the conversation. For her to be antagonizing, was it just the fact that she's saying, oh, I'm having sex with my man or whatever, or was she just saying disparaging things against him? Like,
no, she wasn't saying anything at that point.
Or was it implied?
At that point, during this whole conversation.
She does that.
No, they were being asked questions as a couple. Like, how many times a week do you have sex?
Okay.
So she answered the question for her and her man.
Okay.
But the undertone, we as the audience and the friends know, oh, she stopped having sex with Dr. G 3 years before they got divorced. So for her to sit there with this young, gorgeous man saying, I'm doing it 15 times a week, we all know that's a dig to the guy behind her.
But then
we all know that she didn't want to have a baby with him. So she was talking about what a great father he is. And now I want to have a baby. Her friends, the people sitting there in the audience, we know that's kind of a dig to her ex-husband, but she's answering the questions for her current couple.
And she doesn't just answer and move on. She's doing a full monologue.
Laying it on thick. Like,
right. And then she's also saying, I left my ex-husband. He didn't leave me. Like, so she also has some unresolved issues too. Because why are you sitting there with your new man talking about how you the one who filed for divorce first and trying to prove a point that you left him, blah, blah, blah. And and I'll throw y'all a baby shower. Like, what was to me? Come on now, y'all ain't friends.
Somebody really doesn't like Quad that much.
Right.
So I think we already talked about Alicia not liking Quad. Yeah, I think you already talked about that before.
Antrese, I can be unbiased in this opinion. Girl, you just don't want to accept.
Girl, you are not unbiased. Right?
No, you just don't want to accept that Quad needs to be held accountable for a few things. I agreed with.
I feel like Quad, you brought this man on the show knowing it would upset and antagonize me. This is my ex. We had a very difficult ending, and y'all brought him back to the show. Now I'm giving you what you want. This is what you wanted. You wanted this smoke, and now I'm giving it to you. That's how I feel about it. She was antagonizing him. She was out of line. She started it, but I feel he deserved it. He deserved it. What'd you come back here for? What'd you come back here for? Why are you on this trip with me?
Who's gonna turn out a check? If I don't care, if I get a check just to be around my ex, I sure will.
Okay, well now you got me, baby, and I'm giving it to you. Can you take it? Can you handle it?
I want to see how that works out, Alicia.
Me and Antrese just don't never see eye to eye tonight. Okay, so y'all Antrese, let us know, who are you team? I'm just kidding. Greg's side or King's side? Yeah.
Alicia and the rest of y'all just wanted Quad to stay single. Y'all didn't know she's gonna bring that man.
No, look at her.
Now we know the producers was like, okay, she got to get
even be a
somebody
hot
on here.
actor.
You
You know
can't
what?
be on
Please
this
don't even
show
hard-
18 years and still ain't got no man. You better find one, or we take the money away from
when she brought that man.
They put in her
Guess what,
contract and
Latrice?
was like, "Boo, we're gonna take your coins if you don't find a man."
Don't accuse her of pulling a Kenya.
Yes, Latrice, guess what? She paid him. He's an actor. That's why he has a fit body, girl. That's why he got
Alicia, 15 times a week, baby.
You really think I really?
But what does he do? What does he do?
I don't
Quad.
He owns
Apparently.
a luxury car rental place.
He does what?
He owns a luxury car rental.
Oh yes, okay, yes, I did read that. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. He is street farmer. I'm just kidding.
It's funny when
He's a street pharmacist. What is it? No, a mobile pharmacist. There we go.
When they both said 15 times a week, Dr. G's new wife, Letitia, says, somebody lying. Quad turns to her and said, oh no, baby, multiple times a day. Multiple times a day.
Yeah, but she's been with him for like 2 seconds, right?
A year, yes.
Okay, so there we go.
She was laying it on. I
That's
give
a
you
lot
that.
of time. My BJ hurt just thinking about that.
Mine too.
I mean, I like it. I mean, I can have it multiple times a week, but dang, 15 is kind of
15 is too much.
I'm like, you girl, like, oh, geez.
How long are the sessions? That's what I want to know.
Right.
Well, no.
And
Look, if
sex
he
is
young,
a lot
I'm
of
gonna be
things.
real.
Sex
If he
is a lot of things, right?
No.
Marnita, good question.
Marnita, what age is it? Because if he's young, those sessions go long. Because I'm, not to disclose
40.
too much.
Okay,
Maybe not that long. He ain't that young. If he was in his, no offense, if he was in his 30s, I'm just gonna say, yeah, I had to tap out.
All right. We use some extra tea tonight, y'all. All right.
Dropping some tea. If you're older, go with your young ones. Get you some young tenders, but not no 15 times a day. I don't believe that at him 40 though. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot. And at 40, yeah, that's a lot still.
And she was drunk, so we all know she was lying. Everything's an exaggeration when you're drunk.
She was drunk. We didn't say that. She was clearly lit.
I was like, I'm sure everyone was drunk. No, Alicia said she was drunk.
No, she was. She was drunk boots.
We know how them Bravo shows go.
right. All right, Entourage. Let your comments down below of what you think about the scenario and what would you do in that scenario. Hit the comment, like, and subscribe. Sorry.
Let us know if 15 times a week is too much.
If you're a woman, we know it's not too much if you're a man.
Right.
Again, there's a lot of things that can be done. She wasn't specific.
Right. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And we'll catch y'all next week for some more hot topics. Have a good night.
Night, y'all.
Night.